All right, got a couple things for you. Just fantastic stuff. Isn't it amazing how all the news in college football starts flying in as soon as the season's over? It's like during the season, we got nothing. We just get to watch it with our eyes. We get to figure out stuff. And then the season's over, and all of a sudden, there's all this, like, recruiting just goes nuts. Everybody's signing, National Signing Day. You got coaches getting fired, coaches getting hired, all this kind of stuff. So I could have gone anywhere with the title of this video. I still don't know exactly where I'm going to go with it. Maybe Detroit, not Detroit. By the way, there's a good promo right there. We have another show that we do. I do that one with my buddy Chris. It's called Sports Talk Detroit. If you're a Lions fan, make sure you check that out. But that's where we got started in this. Been doing this on YouTube for 4 or 5 years now. Love it. Love the community here with Michigan. Bleeding maize and blue. Just love the Michigan Wolverines. And so we like to keep it positive around here. We absolutely do. So if you want good news, positive news, talking football that's not uber biased as well, check out this channel. Hit that subscribe button if you like what we're doing. But with this one, Michigan has gone behind enemy lines. And they have signed a guy that used to be at Ohio State. And he most recently had his stop with Cincinnati, and that is a guy by the name of Kerry Coombs. Now, this is a guy that's been coaching for like 40 years, and Sharon Moore has brought him in to fill his open special teams coordinator position. I like moves like this because I feel like Sharon Moore, being a relatively young, inexperienced head coach, is continuing to bring in guys that have a ton of experience when it comes to coaching. And this hire, Kerry Coombs, actually goes further beyond what it would seem on plain paper. On plain paper, you see a guy that was a pretty good special teams coordinator. When he was the special teams coordinator for Ohio State back in 2014, they had some of the best special teams in the country. When he was the special teams coordinator for Cincinnati, they weren't good. But there is something that does kind of stand out to me. They went by the numbers. This is on the Maize and Blue Review. And this is what you can see what he did with special teams. Cincinnati ranked ahead of us in yards per punt. They ranked ahead of us in yards per return. They ranked ahead of us, we ranked ahead of them in punt coverage. They ranked ahead of us in kickoff returns. They were almost as good in kickoff coverage. They were better in PAT. Like, this is nuts. Field goals, they were better than us. And he did that all with a lesser team. So the special teams portion of it, and when he had better athletes at Ohio State, the special teams were even better. He's been defensive coordinator before. Like, this is a guy who has a ton of stuff to his coaching resume. But that's not why you hire him. That's not why you hire him. You hire him because of the experience he brings in recruiting in the Big Ten, and more specifically, wait for it, in what state? What state do you want to win recruiting? Just to stick it to the man, right? You want to win in Ohio. And this is a dude that has been recruiting out of Ohio. In fact, back in the Brady Hoke years, remember how we would always go to battle for recruits from Michigan, and Ohio State would often come into our backyard and steal our best players from Michigan from us. Michigan State would win some, Ohio State would win some, Notre Dame would win some. It was brutal. I hated to watch it. And then we'd go get a couple from Ohio. This is a guy who allows us to go get people from Ohio. He has been recruiting Ohio forever, whether in the Big Ten, whether it was with Ohio State, whether it was with Cincinnati. That's why Cincinnati had him there, was simply to recruit. And he has a well-known history of good recruiting wins. And what you need to know is that it's not just, it's not just guys that are going to be there. So here's what's really cool. Look at some of these recruiting wins over his career. Paris Johnson Jr., Sean Wade. Like, these are the 5 stars of the 5 stars, right? Justin Hilliard. This is Kendall Sheffield, right? National 3, number 1 corner. Tyreek Johnson, Von Bell, Eli Apple, Damon Webb, J.K. Johnson, Jordan Hancock. Like, just Zeke Elliott. You remember him? Marshawn Lattimore, was he a good player? Isaiah Pryor, Mike Weber, all right? That's an interesting one. Running back. All right. Out of Detroit. That was one of the guys we lost. Remember that recruiting battle? And it's like we have one of the best running backs in the country in our backyard, and he's going to Ohio State. Brutal. All right. And you can just keep going. He recruited Michael Jordan. Look at that. You remember? Sorry, I had to do a Michael Jordan joke. But look at these guys where he was the primary recruiter, and he won these. And what that means is in a time where you have Tressel and Urban Meyer, and you have these guys that are just recruiting at one of the highest levels in the country, they're trusting the main recruiting to Kerry Coombs. Like, that is what's now coming to Michigan. He is here, I guarantee you, as much for his recruiting as his coaching for special teams. Special teams are finicky. They are. Last year, you could make the argument that our special teams were great. Our punting wasn't good, but we had the best kicker in the country, Dominic Zavada. He was. And then all of a sudden this year, he's not. Right? Like he was better than he usually was last year, and then this year he regressed. Like, special teams are finicky. But the fact that they don't change things, the fact that we can't get Samaj Morgan going on kick returns or punt returns and all those kind of stuffs, I look for him to eliminate some of those things. All right, I want to do other things. I want to talk about other things, just a new coach that's coming in. And I might do a separate video on this tomorrow, but there's a list of early enrollees for the Michigan Wolverines, because tomorrow maybe I'll talk about this, and hopefully I'll be talking about a victory over Villanova. That game is about to start as I'm recording this. But we got some early enrollees, and this has become a big deal, especially with how many freshmen played last year. We still have a very young team, so to get these guys in early and be able to get them through spring practices and all that stuff is very important, especially on the quarterback front and especially on the more complicated stuff. So our two quarterbacks, Brady Smeagol and Tommy Carr, are enrolling early. Now, Smeagol tore his ACL. He's not going to be sitting here playing in the early window, but there is talk about him being able to do some things for the spring practices. I don't know. We'll see yet. Tommy Carr, grandson of Lloyd Carr, brother of CJ Carr over at Notre Dame. I think this is a guy, I really do think that this is a guy that later on could end up becoming a starter for this team if he sticks around. I really do believe it. Man, what an interesting quarterback room. You have Underwood, who's just getting all the money in the world. You have grandson of Lloyd Carr, and then you have son of Kirk Herbstreit. Like, what a weird quarterback room, man. Running back, Savion Hyder, Jonathan Brown, they're coming in early. Love to see that Brady Marchesi, I forget exactly how you say it, who just flipped from Georgia, is going to come in early. Travis Johnson and Jalen Pyle are big three wide receivers. That's a good wide receiver class. It's a little bit of everything. Extreme speed with Marchesi. Travis Johnson's got the height and speed, and Pyle is just a good, solid receiver. At tight end, you have Matt Ludwig coming in. You have all your offensive linemen. You want them coming in early because they need to get – the most important thing for them isn't even the playbook. It's get your butt in the weight room and join a college weight program. All right? Malachi Lee, Marky Walbridge are coming in huge. Bear McWhorter's already coming in huge. So these guys are coming in pounds ready, but not necessarily body ready. D-line, you have Mikael Blade. D-line, I'd like to see more of them get in early and get in the workout, but they're not. Linebacker, you got Dabney. All right, Dabney. If you know, you know. Caden Catchings, Jamarian Vincent at D-back, and Jordan Deck. So, yeah, I'll go a little bit deeper into some of these guys probably tomorrow. So make sure you check back on that. And, hey, we'll see on the next one. Hopefully, we want this to be your go-to place for Michigan football and Michigan basketball. So if you like it, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next one. Isn't that weird that I forgot the name of the word subscribe? That's weird. That's how I'm ending the video. Bye.